Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the video. So I'm trying to revamp my Mega Camerupt team that I was working with in my last video. I'm still committed to using Stockpile in the mixed attacking set with Body Press. It might not be the best way. Honestly, I feel like Camerupt almost needs Protect. But yeah, I've changed the team a bit. I am now running Hisuian, Goodra, Drampa, Sableye, and Slowking. I think the only things that stayed the same were Sinistcha and Mega Camerupt. But yeah, in my last video, I think I titled it something along the lines of I'm trying to make Mega Camerupt work. But honestly, I feel like Mega Camerupt definitely has viability. It's more about the team that you build around it, and it's going to function best in Trick Room, of course. This is my current variation of the team. I dropped so much in Master Ball League trying to make a team work. I could have been playing casual, I guess, but it's okay. I don't really mind that much. To me, it's helping me get more in the mindset of VGC for this game as well, and kind of get more familiar. But in this first match, I wanted to go for Will-O-Wisp directly into Palafin instead of faking out anything, because I figured that would be very valuable to just burn Palafin if it connects. And instead of single targeting Pelipper with Thunderbolt, I figured I'd just go for Hyper Voice, because more than likely that's a sashed Pelipper, and Hyper Voice is still going to do like a great amount of damage, so I probably can't one-shot it regardless with the Thunderbolt. And they end up switching in Archelodon, which does work out for me. And in this situation now, I don't really know exactly what they might want to do with Archelodon. They could go for like a Draco, for example, into Drampa. So I want to switch out Drampa here just in case they do that. And I'm going to sub Sunny Day, because if they decide to go for Hurricane with Pelipper, then the accuracy is going to be dropped back down to 70. And there's also a chance they might go for Electro Shot on Archelodon, and in that case as well, Sunny, because obviously they have no clue that I have Sunny Day on Sableye at this moment. So this could be an amazing play on my end. I go for Sunny Day, and I bring in my Sinistcha, and of course they go for Hurricane. That would have been really bad, honestly, for Sinistcha, but I just figured it didn't really look like Sinistcha really mattered that much, because I already burned Palafin. I mean, it's not going to do much to Archelodon. Pelipper is pretty much gone. So I was okay with it going down if it did. But fortunately, it dodged. And as you saw, Electro Shot as well. So that means this turn, Sableye is more than likely just going to get completely wiped off. I could have switched in Camerupt here now that I'm looking at it. That could have been a pretty good play. But I didn't do that. And I just kind of let Sableye go down here. Which, you know, honestly isn't that big of a deal, because I'm going to safely get up Trick Room, which at that point, I mean, it kind of does the same thing. I wanted to bring in Camerupt here, but this way I can ensure that no damage is dealt to Camerupt. Or excuse me, not Camerupt, Drampa. Yes, sorry, I got a little confused, because I'm actually running 2 Megas on this team. Drampa, I even have played just as Drampa, just to use Cloud 9. It actually came in pretty clutch in one of these matches. I think I have that I'll show you. But, yeah, for the most part, I'm gonna just use this as a situation to Draco into Archelodon, because it should one-shot it as long as it connects. And from here, I could try to remove the Pelipper, of course, with my Sinistcha. They end up switching out Pelipper, which is it makes sense, because they want to try to get their Rain back on the field, but obviously that's still going to do a lot of damage to Palafin. And even if they bring in Pelipper here, it won't really matter because I have Trick Room up. They end up just forfeiting, which I don't blame them. So GG's there. And yeah, if you're watching this, please hit the like button. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers here on my VGC channel. And if you are interested in more VGC content, you should totally consider subscribing too. It would help me out a lot. And thanks again for hanging out. I think I'm going to do one more adjustment to this team. And then I'll put out a replica code with it as well, because I feel like this is getting pretty close to feeling pretty consistent and good, because I think I did go on a 5-win streak running this team, which prior I feel like I was really, you know, it could be the plays I was also making, and you know, getting caught off guard occasionally by some strats that I wasn't too attuned in. But yeah, I was really enjoying this formation of the team, but I didn't really bring Slowking too much to the battles, which I have been considering on putting Oranguru, excuse me, on the team. But in this battle they lead Froslass and Garchomp, and I assumed I could fake out in the Garchomp, of course, right? And they're definitely gonna Mega Froslass, maybe Auroraville. I figured they would at least try to set up Auroraville. So I decided just to go for Sunny Day, since once it Megas, it's gonna set up the snow, and then I can go for my Prankster Sunny Day, which will completely shut down that turn. I figured they wouldn't go for Earthquake here because they could protect with Froslass, to be fair, which, you know, that was a play that was definitely possible. But I decided to shelter and go for the Sunny Day. It ends up working out really good, but I'm faster than Garchomp here, and I was like, wait, what? And then I'm like, wait, does this have Dragon Tail? You know, and it does, and very fascinating that it's targeting Sableye. Maybe they figured Blizzard would still hit Goodra for a decent amount. I don't really know, but they have Dragon Tail, so this might be more of a, I think this is more of a support Garchomp, which is very unique. Definitely caught me off guard. I don't know how viable that is, but absolutely caught me off guard. And I'm switching, I mean, they switch in Sinistcha with the Dragon Tail. I'm going to bring back in Sableye here, and the Froslass is actually just going to go for the Shadow Ball into the Sinistcha slot because of the sun. They probably didn't want to risk a Blizzard missing, which I don't blame them. I get an Iron Head off on Froslass, which does great damage. It's not enough to knock out, but it's still very beneficial. And I am running Bright Powder on Sableye, so the Dragon Tail actually misses that time. So that's actually really valuable. And here I could consider going for a Will-O-Wisp into Garchomp. Or, I mean, I could fake it out, obviously, but I didn't want to get hit by the rough skin damage. And I figured burning Garchomp here is actually really good. And I was like, you know what, they're probably going to protect with Froslass here. So I decided to just double into Garchomp, and that was actually the right prediction on my end. Yeah, fortunately the dark typing on Sableye allowed me to take that Shadow Ball from Froslass. Not that it matters that much, I feel like, but it's nice that I can actually still get some viability here out of Sableye, and I can use Prankster, Will-O-Wisp on Garchomp. And look at that, it missed again with Earthquake. And with my +2 defense on Hisuian Goodra, I'm able to just tank that, and the burn damage, of course, like having Garchomp's output. So I'm in a really good position with Hisuian Goodra at the moment. Honestly, sometimes these Pokemon that stay on the field with like a few HP, you know, I feel like this happens to me. I'll get comfortable and kind of try not to focus on it or play around it. And the longer something like that stays on the field, it can just continue to get so much value. So here, I'm like, what am I going to do with Sableye? I mean, they're going to be able to knock it out, so I might as well go for a Will-O-Wisp into Froslass. Why not? Because I was thinking there's also the off chance they do switch out, and if they do switch out, I'll burn whatever, and if they don't switch out, then I'll knock it out with the Iron Head from Goodra. And amazingly enough, they switch in Basculegion, and I get the burn on Basculegion, and there's a Stealth Rock there by Garchomp, so it's absolutely a support set. But yeah, I mean, even though I get the Iron Head here, it doesn't matter that much. I burn Basculegion, it's pretty much not going to be able to do anything unless it crits through on Hisuian Goodra, which it can't because of its ability. It prevents any crits, so that's one of the reasons why I thought Goodra would be good, because you really can't stop it unless you have Haze, or just like a great way to hit it from the special side. Anyways, GG's, they end up forfeiting because of that, which I don't blame them. This is a Mega Scovillain team with a Rain I honestly don't know if this is the team that Woofy made. I remember kind of vaguely looking at that video. I was like watching in the background. And I'm pretty sure I remember he had Pelipper and Scovillain, but I legitimately do not remember what else he had on the team. I think Aerodactyl was on it. Mega Aerodactyl as a different mode. But anyways, yeah. So I figured, this is the match I was talking about earlier where I was saying how I brought Drampa purely for Cloud 9 viability, which you'll see actually does come in super clutch. So right here, I figured I could probably just go for Mega and Heat Wave right out the gate. I'm not particularly worried about anything on the other side of the field, and I pretty much assumed Oranguru was going to go for Trick Room. So they Mega right away on Scovillain, excuse me, and I think they Protect with it. So that also led me to believe, like, okay, maybe they're going to just Trick Room or something. I don't really know. But honestly, I don't know why you'd want to Trick Room when you see a Camerupt. I'm pretty sure Camerupt, Mega Camerupt, it loses speed when it Megas, and it, I think, goes down to 20 speed, which is amazing for Trick Room. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I do remember it is definitely very slow in Trick Room, if not one of the slowest potential users of Trick Room. They end up encoring on Sableye, which I get it, you know, I get why they did that, because I could have faked out here or something, and yeah, say I faked out into Scovillain or whatever. Maybe that's what they were predicting. But yeah, Heat Wave connects on Oranguru, makes them use their Citrus Berry. I'm gonna switch out into Sinistcha, I think, just to kind of pivot. You know, I don't want to have Encore on Sableye, and they end up switching in Archelodon. They double switch out, actually. Funny enough, if I would have stayed in with Sableye here, I could have actually just removed the rain with my Sunny Day. So, but this is where my Drampa actually comes in, because as you know, the only water move Pelipper usually runs is Weather Ball, which is only water inside of the rain. And they do sometimes run Hydro Pump, but it's so inconsistent that most times they don't run that. So I'm seeing a great opportunity here to one-shot Archelodon with Earth Power, and I figure they're going to Weather Ball into Camerupt, so I'm going to just switch in Drampa, which, even though the rain will still be on the field, it will actually turn Weather Ball into a normal type move because of Cloud 9. And thankfully, you know, obviously they're going to, like, I guess they're running Dark Pulse, so they're going to target that move. I mean, they could have Draco'd. That could have been pretty bad. They, like, Draco'd or something into Sinistcha's slot. But fortunately for me, as you see, this is great. And the Weather Ball is just a normal type move, so literally there's nothing Pelipper can even do to touch Camerupt now. And if you know anything about Camerupt, it's 4 times weak to water, being a ground fire type. So a lot of times water, like a drop of water touching this, is just gonna get you knocked out no matter what. And it's one of the reasons why I'm like wondering if I should move away from the idea of going for stockpiles in combination with body press. I don't know, I just thought, like, you know, there's value with stockpile even against like stuff like Mega Silhouette, where I can just bulk out and just eat the fairy moves like it's nothing, allowing something like Sinistcha to continue to come in with hospitality and keep healing me up a bit. But they end up going for Wide Guard. I understand this prediction to go for Hyper Voice, kind of what I did earlier, but I just figured Thunderbolt it. I wasn't even predicting the Wide Guard here, but I'm actually very thankful that I did go for Thunderbolt, because I understand a lot of them are running Wide Guard now. It's like actually a pretty good viable move with all the spread moves. But yeah, I just saw an opportunity to take it down instantaneously with Thunderbolt, and based on the way I've seen Scovillain being run, especially seeing that it's running Leech Seed, I knew that there's really nothing it's probably going to be able to do to Camerupt. It's pretty much going to try to protect stall and burn my team and Leech Seed everything. So I'm just kind of like pivoting out occasionally with things that do have Leech Seed on it. And as you can see, I mean, I have my whole team still available. I can safely go for a Hyper Voice here. And they will protect with Scovillain. That's fine. But at this point, I'm going to double my attack. You know, I just figured it doesn't even matter. Like, I have such good positioning that I could just let these two kind of stay in and just start putting, even though they're not like, they're good enough here. Like, actually, Drampa is really good here. Can pretty much just like tank most of these moves and threaten with some great offensive pressure. The Oranguru gets brought down to the red, but because of that burn from Matcha Gotcha, it will end up taking out Oranguru here at the end of the turn, which is going to be super beneficial for me, because now all I gotta deal with is pretty much a Scovillain that mainly is running Protect, Leech Seed, and I mean, I'm sure it has some attacks, but depending on what they are, it's not, I mean, I doubt there's anything that can hit Camerupt from this thing. All I can really hope to do is Leech Seed me and Protect Stall. But as you can see, I'm not going to even allow them to get much healing, and they seem very predictable, going for Protect every time they get a Leech Seed off. They go for the Overheat, which is actually even better because the rain's up on the field, and now their special attack is nerfed. So whatever offensive pressure they probably could even potentially have is completely removed at this point. I have Trick Room set up to allow Camerupt to get some really clean sweep now. But honestly, I thought about it, I'm like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I could, at this point, I think I decided to fake out. I don't really care if I get burned. All damage is good damage at this point. I can fake out. I get burned by the Spicy Spray. I'm going to shoot Shadow Ball onto it, which will burn me as well. But again, it's really whatever at this point. I mean, they can't Leech Seed onto Sinistra. They weren't able to take it out there either. And pretty much at this point, I just want this Scovillain to knock something out on my side of the field. That way I can just bring Camerupt safely. But, you know, there's really no point either. I could just go for a knockoff and Shadow Ball here. And yeah, I'm just going to stay in and do those things, as like I said. But I think they Leech Seed Sableye here. So next turn, plan is to just go for Shadow Ball again with Sinistra, which should knock out, and bring in Camerupt. And even if they protect, they won't get any healing from my side of the field. So Shadow Ball, even if it doesn't connect on the very next turn, it's guaranteed on the following turn to connect. I mean, there's nothing really Scovillain's going to be able to do, because even if it tries to go for a Leech Seed and something, I can just remove it with a Heat Wave or even probably Body Press at this point. But yeah, as you see, they do go for the Protect, of course. But like I said, doesn't matter. Trick Room is up on the field. I just gotta go for the Shadow Ball, and I think I go for Heat Wave. And that should be game. They try to go for the double Protect, which I don't blame them. You know, why not? So, I mean, it's kind of pointless at this. You know, there's no way they can win, but why not? GG's. Alright, so I have one more match for you. This is a little bit of a longer video, so if you are still watching, I totally appreciate it because you're helping out my channel in the algorithm with the watch time. And like I said at the beginning, I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And one of the requirements on YouTube is to get... Anyways, you probably know how things go here. But yeah, I do plan on to keep putting out consistent content throughout the game. You know? I mean, I'm like all over the place with Pokemon. I have 2 other channels. But I do love VGC. It's probably one of the main reasons why I've been playing Pokemon all these years. But oh my gosh, sorry, let me get into this team. Freaking Mega Starmie. I don't know what I was thinking. I was so greedy in this match. There's so many like amazing things I can do here with Sableye against this team, and because I'm not running Protect on Camerupt, I have to like be very intentional about how I position it. And I made such a like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, okay, maybe I can stockpile turn 1 here, fake out Starmie, and then put the sun up. And I'm thinking to myself that I'm sure I could take a water move from a huge power Starmie in the sun with 1+1 defense, right? Like, I have never done these stats. If anything, maybe that's the one thing I should do, is either figure out a build for Camerupt where it could actually tank a water move with the current spread that I'm trying to run, or maybe I just completely abandon the idea of using stockpile body press and just purely go special attacker with protect. Because I just feel like maybe it's just better that way. But anyways, I'll figure it out. I do want to try to do one more iteration of this team, and then I'll make a replica code, like I said. But anyways, yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna try to go for Sunny Day here. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, I got so greedy, I should have just not even kept Camerupt in here. I could just set up Sunny Day, I could have burned both these Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had such a good position to just nerf what's going on. But no, me. I mean, granted, I did take this chip as well, but I put up the Sunny Day and I'm like, I could probably live a move, right? And look how fast this liquidation from Leroy Jenkins here just knocks me out. I was like, dang, I don't feel like I stood a chance here. Why did I legitimately was like, oh my gosh, that was such a waste. But then, I still saw opportunity here. I have Hisuian Goodra with Shelter, which could just set up in front of these Pokemon safely, especially, I mean, there's a fighting move, but with Shelter, I could at least tank it over time. And they can also go for the burn, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to burn the Starmie at least, and I'm going to set up a Shelter. So, that's pretty much what I'm going for here, and at this point, I don't know, like, I wasn't really sure what to expect on Starmie. I know that I've seen some meme sets where people run, I think, self-destruct on it, which... Anyways, I connect the burn on Starmie, which is amazing. And Liquidation comes in, and look, I just tank that on Sableye, and that's a crit. That's a crit right there in the sun with the burn, so Camerupt definitely can just not handle those water moves. I mean, maybe there is a reality I could have, maybe with a burn in the sun plus defense, I'm sure at that point I could have taken a move, but yeah, the Drain Punch does hurt a bit, but it's not going to be enough. And in this situation, I could switch into Sinistcha and get some healing, but I still see a great opportunity here to just set up another Shelter and go for a burn into Passimian here. Passimian's actually a really cool support Pokemon. I was looking at it myself. I feel like it has potential, but people don't use it a lot. They actually go for self-destruct here, which I thought was so wild, but maybe they just didn't see any value in Starmie, and then it hit me after it went down that its ability, Huge Power, actually gets passed off to Passimian here due to its ability Receiver. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's actually pretty clever, because they want to be able to beef up their attacks so they can take me down. I'm like, wow, that's actually, at first I'm like, that's a dumb play, but then I'm like, oh, I guess I kind of see what they're doing. Maybe they felt like Starmie didn't have much value here anymore, and yeah, it all makes sense in the end. But in comes the Como-O, and I wasn't sure if this was going to be a special attack or a physical. They can run either, and I've seen both variants. So I'm going to keep trying to burn this Passimian, and I do actually connect this burn, which is super beneficial for me. And then it is revealed that this Como-O will be a physical variation. And yeah, it's really whatever. They're just going for Trailblaze into me, which I'm just tanking those moves. They go for Dragon Tail. I mean, that's so interesting to me. I don't know, maybe this is like attack people are running as Dragon Tail for these setup mons. I almost feel like you should just run Haze or something. I don't know, I'm surprised, like no one's really running Haze. Maybe the way the meta is, it's just so fast paced, and I don't know. Anyways, I am still trying to get the burn off on this Passimian, because they had the Lumberry, I think, earlier when I connected it initially, and they go for the Dragon Tail. It does miss, which is kind of nice. I mean, it kind of stinks, like you're using a move that gives you low priority and it doesn't have perfect accuracy. It just seems like I could see the value in it, you know, but I feel like in doubles, I don't know if it's like as common. I don't know, I feel like it's not bad. It's interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like maybe if this was singles with Stealth Rock and Spikes, all that jazz on the field, that would be like a great tech. Just keep shuffling things out, but I don't know. Anyways, this is looking really good. Sableye has been such a fun support Pokemon to use. Obviously, there's going to be some matches where it does become kind of useless because you can't use priority on dark Pokemon, like King Gambit, for example. You can't burn King Gambit with Sableye, unfortunately. So there is some downsides to it. But I feel like I don't really need to worry as much about King Gambit on my team. I feel like I have answers to it that definitely like pressure it immediately. Yeah, get these burns off and it just puts me in such a good position where I can just kind of like safely get off a lot of these moves. I do end up finally connecting a Dragon Tail on Hisuian Goodra, which, you know, it is unfortunate because I lose my buffs, but they end up bringing out Sinistcha, which just ends up healing up Sableye, enabling it to stay out here longer, which I feel like is a running theme in this video, is Sableye just kind of not getting dealt with appropriately, and then it just kind of runs hog wild here on their team. In comes the Politoed, and I just Sunny Day with Sableye just to completely nerf the water and remove pretty much like any nerfs from my fire, etc. on my side of the field. So Sunny Day's up. They go for Helping Hand. I think it's Trailblaze into Sableye, and as you can see, it's pretty much doing no damage at all, unfortunately for them. Machagacha is going to bring down Passimian. It misses Politoed, but whatever. And yeah, pretty much this is going to be... It's a crit on Passimian. It doesn't really matter that much, and then burn. But yeah, as you can tell, this is definitely coming... This is turning down... It's coming to the end of the game, excuse me. Trailblaze comes in, doesn't even matter. And I think Politoed does connect Muddy Water here, on Sableye at least. And I think it does knock me out. So Sableye finally goes down after pretty much nerfing most of the opponent's team. Machagacha here is gonna completely remove Passimian. And Politoed is not looking like it's going to be able to make it out alive here. So even though I made such a greedy play here at the very beginning of the match, pretty much not saving Camerupt. Honestly, Camerupt didn't really have much play in the back line now that I look at it. I mean, if it was Weather Ball Politoed, pretty much similar to the last battle, as long as I control the weather, it can't really touch Camerupt anyways. So they end up going for Perish Song, which I felt was like so random. I mean, I didn't even understand why they were running Perish Song on this, because I don't recall their team having any ways to trap people. So, and they're running Dragon Tail, so it makes no sense now that I think about it. Like, the synergy is so bizarre. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. That's the end of the video. And yeah, with that being said, the Sass Squad is getting stronger each and every day. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, tune in, and catch you in the next one.